So this is our front door. I just thought I'd show because it's cute.
This is
And we
the
tell
Boys and
kids to
Girls
mask
Club
up.
in Whittier, just so everybody knows.
Typically, kids will have the door open, and kids will come with their program leader into our space. And when they come, we usually have them sit down on the floor, the rug, and we'll go over, our coordinators will go over the whiteboard and basically have one of the kids read what it says. Yeah, and then the kids will do that. And depending on the day, whether that be like a session day or a restorative activity day, kids will either like start going to the computers after they go over the whiteboard, or they will choose whether, oh, where's our wheel? We have a restorative wheel.
It's in the other room because we put it away because it's not. I
Can
want to show it.
you also just say quickly, because like people might not know what the maze is.
Oh, yes. Oh boy, I'm running out of breath. So the maze, this is our maze for now. We usually have a wooden one, like a real one. That, well, I mean, this is real, but more physical. But because kids can't be touching things because of COVID, we made a poster. Thank you, Giselle. She did this. And so the maze is what helps kids guide, like it guides their journey in the fifth dimension. So usually how I explain it to kids is like, well, when you enter the fifth dimension, it's such a magical place, right? And you see our maze. This is kind of where you do your gameplay and have your journey, but you as a human don't fit in there, right? And so then we'll go into talking about the different things that we have. And everyone starts off as a block. So they'll get their block, and they get to choose what door they get to go into. And so kids usually, like in our program right now, know what their room is. So they'll grab their block from their computer. So every computer has like a little block name tag. So they'll go to the computer, write their name, and then they'll put it in the maze. And so going back to the question of the maze, kids play games in each of the different rooms, and like once you complete them, oh my gosh, what happens when you complete it? You transform. Go ahead, Poppy.
It's okay. No, I know. And especially with the masks on, it's hard. Yeah. When they go into a room, depending what level, because every game has 3 levels, beginner, good, and expert. So depending on what level they finish on, that's how many consequences of the next choice open up to them. So as you can see on the map, like there's 2 rooms that have doors that go out. So you either go into room 7 or room 9 for your very first game. Finish the game. If you finish on beginner level, you may only have option 1 as an option from 7. If you finish at expert, you probably have like room 10, room 1, room 2 as options. So it's just kind of showing like the more you play, the more options that are available to you. There's no bad choice. It's just what are your goals? Is there a certain game you want to get to that's in a room that you want to make your way towards and stuff like that? And so like Sabrina said, this guides the play so they know what they're playing, what's coming next, kind of just organizes all the play and helps them set goals. But yeah, go ahead, Sabrina.
Thank you. That's super helpful.
Yeah. Oh, the wheel. I think you're going to do the wheel next.
Yes. So, well, before I go to the wheel, I'll just give like a quick torso. This is where we keep all the kids' folders and the adventure cards and hangout activities. So these up here, we have them organized by rooms. So we have the games room, the arts room, and the STEM room. And those are the groups that come to us, and those are the names that the Boys and Girls Club provide them. So just to be consistent with them, that's what we labeled them as. And this is where they keep all their journey logs and keep track of all their gameplay stuff. And then down here is where we keep adventure cards and activity cards. Like Giselle said, they're all laminated. And unless kids are wearing gloves, they don't get to touch it because of germs. But usually after every session, we wipe things down anyways. And then we have all our hangout options, which is like Loteria, those puppets, Jenga, the Perplexes, and then mini iPads. And then this is where they know where to find their mail from the Wiz, or if they're writing to the Wiz, this is where they put everything. And then, excuse our other room, it's a little messy. Just as Kathy had said, we're not using both of our rooms, and we're only using one. But this is our restorative wheel. And so when kids come in on restorative days, we like spin it, and then whatever it lands on is the activity that you do. And yeah,
Do you want to read the restorative options
Yeah,
that are
can
out
you
there?
show us that in a little more detail?
Yeah, I'd love to know more about those activities.
And before you read them out, a shout out to Giselle's dad who made this for us for a different event, and we've kept it.
It's
But
really
yeah,
beautiful.
can Alyssa or Giselle help me with this? I'm running out of breath.
Okay, yeah. I'll try to read it. So the first one is the one that's on the purple one is how are you? So that one basically we would be sitting in a room or sitting in a circle together, and so they get to ask each other like popcorn to somebody. So like I would ask like, Mara, how are you? And then you would respond like, oh, today I am feeling happy. And then you would kind of go into like a little bit of detail about it, where we kind of don't want them to just say like, oh, I'm good, and then not really say anything. So then from there, Mara would popcorn to whoever she wants to popcorn to and continue asking everybody in the circle how they are doing. The only thing is that like the person who already answers, like you can't go again. But since like I asked and nobody asked me, I could still get asked. So you basically ask everybody like how they're doing. Which way do you want to go? Okay, today I need that one is basically we have like a little ear cutout and a mouth cutout, or we're just gonna ask them. So like today I need, and if you say you need an ear, that means you want to listen. So you either want to like sit there quietly, listen to the music that's playing, because we play some like pretty chill music in the background during our restorative days. And so like we'll listen to a song together and just kind of like sit there, listen to the things around us. And then the people who say they need a mouth, that means they want to talk. So they want to talk about their day, talk about what's going on. We try to get them to talk more about like emotion type of things. So like about how they are doing more than just like wanting to, oh, this is my favorite show and this is why I like it. Like more things like about them. So yeah, that's kind of how Today I Need goes. For tense and release, that one's like a little confusing because I've seen it done a few different ways, but I know we were going around in a circle and the kids would choose. So like you tent something. So someone said like tenting their face. So they like scrunched up their face and then you hold it for as long as they say it and then you release. And then so like you scrunch up like your hand, you keep it tense and then you release. So that kind of thing. And everybody chooses something in the circle. So that way like you're like kind of releasing your stress in a way. And then for mindful scavenger hunt, actually I'm not too certain on that one. I don't know if Giselle knows.
we're lucky because that's Sabrina's.
I know, I was about to say. So mindful scavenger hunt, we have a sheet made for kids and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt for them to look at the sheet. And there's like examples of like, look for something that will make you smile or listen for something that'll make you laugh. So like little things like that, or like count how many lines you have on your fingers. And the intention is for them to be mindful of their bodies and the senses that they're using in this space.
That's really cool.
And then the one good thing, we usually just like go around in like a circle and we talk about like one good thing that happened to us either that day, that week. We don't really like to limit it a lot because sometimes like, you know, kids can have bad weeks. So maybe they want to say something that happened in that month. So a lot of them do like this activity and they're also very supportive like of us. Whenever we say like one good thing, they're always like clapping and they're like, yes. Yeah, they're so supportive. But that's the one good thing. And then we have the five senses one. We basically go over like the five senses and what are they, and then we ask each other like, oh, like is there something that like you can like hear, like what can you hear right now? And then like we're all like quiet, but like people can still hear like the, what was it someone had said, oh yes, like their shoes going against the rug. Like it's just like them being like very mindful of like the environment that they're in, and like even like the feeling like touching they said, oh, I can feel like my socks on my feet. So it's just like very like funny responses, but also like very like thoughtful. And then we have mindful stretching, which is we basically also go around and each person gets a chance to like suggest a stretch for us to do. And then it can just be like anywhere, like from like the body. Usually like they like to do like the legs and like touch your toes and things like that. But that one, they really enjoy it because it's like more like physical. And then I'm not too sure about this one.
Me either. I'm trying to remember. Is this Sabrina, you again? Who was this? Because I know, and then just, I mean, as we try to remember, our shout out to our team. So what this was is we have a weekly team meeting on Tuesday nights, and we knew we wanted to do restorative activities over summer. We found the wheel in storage and said, let's use the wheel. We knew we wanted the wheel, we knew we wanted restorative activities, but we didn't have the activities yet. So at a team meeting, we just kind of like talked about, Alyssa had reminded all of us about this goal. And so we had a conversation about ideas. So we had one team meeting where everybody brought the idea to the table, from like each person brought something, whether it could be researched, it could be taken from Pinterest, it could be made up, whatever, but that it kind of followed this goal of being restorative, being mindful, refreshing, allowing the kids to kind of be more calm, quiet. And then by the next team meeting, it had to be fleshed out and ready to go. So we just last week started using all of them, because we started off with the ones that didn't need materials yet, because we also even have more. There's like a roll the dice one that Giselle thought up, but that needs actual materials that weren't ready yet. But before we go into roll the dice, I mean, self-care bingo, does anyone remember? I don't think we've done it yet. Yeah, so I believe that one is, from what it sounds like even, and I'm trying to remember a team meeting, it's like for the things that you've done for yourself that day. And then you go through it like a bingo card. But Giselle, you want to talk about roll the dice? Forgot about that one until I said it.
Yes, so roll the dice, or the dice game. I'm still not sure what the name is going to be. But basically, I ordered a really like big inflatable dice from, I believe it was Walmart. And it's like really big. And it's just like, we wanted to get it that way, like the kids can have like something like to touch, but obviously like it could be disinfected as well, or also gloves can be provided. But basically, like if it lands like on an odd number, they get to answer like a question of a trivia question. So like obviously like not too hard of like questions, but I forgot. I'm trying to think of like an example of question. I have it written down. But for the even numbers, like if it lands on a 2, 4, 6, they get to answer a question, like a more mindful question. So like also like the how are you? Like, are you good? What are you feeling today? And also like what kind of like weather like represents you? Like do you feel like sunny? Do you feel like cloudy? Like what is it? So it's just like very like thoughtful questions. And then some of them even say, oh, ask one more person how they feel. So it's very like interactive. But that's pretty much it.
Thank you for sharing more about the wheel. That's super helpful.
Really helpful.
Was there anything else in the room? Or should we, maybe finish up the little tour and maybe open up for questions too?
Thank you. So next we have our citizens wall. So with the prompts that they do, we put them up on the wall, or if they come in and have any like drawings or something that they would like for us to keep, we'll put it on the wall. Some of these are also like end tasks for the games that they play. So that'll go there. And then we have some like reminders for safety, for COVID. And then we have this little area is kind of like where all their supplies is, just in case they need it. And it's right near the sanitation station, so they know what to do after they're using it. And then we have our little hangout wall, which kind of shows them the options that they have when they're hanging out in the space. And then we have our Hall of Heroes wall. It's not done yet, but this is where the Wiz highlights the heroes of Dimension. And that doesn't always happen. So it's super cool. And it's kind of like this motivation for the kids in our space. Yeah. And then we have like the WA cabinet where we have like all the gloves, everything that needs to be used for sanitation, Post-its, pencils, anything that WAs use will be like found here. And that's pretty much the room.